Three options I am selling right now. That would be put options. Let's talk about that. There's three of them I'm selling actively right now going into Q4 here. Well, not going into, but going through Q4 here right now. And we're going to talk about it. Two of them I've talked about on the channel before. One of them I have not. So none of these are going to be Bitcoin miners. Two of them will be crypto related, and one of them will not be. And we're going to start with the not crypto related one here. This one is, I think I brought it to the channel before. I can't remember if I have or not, but this is CAVA. CAVA is a fast food chain, kind of fast food. It's hard to, categorize some of these. It's very similar to Chipotle, but with a Mediterranean sort of vibe versus the Mexican food vibe. Okay, so that's what we're going for through that on CAVA. Why do I like that? Well, CAVA, it is very similar to Chipotle. Chipotle had an amazing stock rally, and I believe CAVA is going to have a very similar one also. With these restaurants, a very, very important metric to pay attention to is same store sales. If that is increasing, stock go up. That's basically how it goes. And CAVA has been having some amazing same store sales increases recently. So I do expect this to continue. Now, you can see that they had earnings here the other day. Earnings on the 12th, and they were actually really good, and they pumped pretty big off those earnings. I mean, they had 2 days of just wicked pumps right here. 2 days of just going up, and it went up how much? It went up 20% in 2 days off of those earnings. It has given back all of that and then some here since, but that's to be expected. That's not like super surprising. It tends to do that, right? It goes big pumps on earnings and then comes back down to earth a little bit. This time it came back down to earth a little harder than expected, but look what it did. Okay, this is why I'm selling puts on this thing. Look what it did. It came all the way back down to this trend line and did what? It bounced. Okay, so what am I looking for to enter on this thing? I am looking for, let's bring up the EMAs and the MAs and all that stuff right now, the lines, all my lines. All right, what am I looking for right now? So what I like is that it came down to the 21, went a little bit below it, and then bounced back up. It did get stopped by the 5-day moving average, which is currently at, is that 142? Yes, 142.25. Okay, got stopped by that. So it's getting sandwiched between the 21 EMA and the 5 EMA. So what we are looking for here now is for this to get above the 5 EMA at 142.25. Above that, we have room all the way to this top Bollinger Band here at 153. 153, almost 50, 153.58. Hey, 153.58. We have room up to there if we conquer the 5-day moving average. That means opening and closing a candle above it. Okay. On the opposite side, we've got the 21 EMA here. If this thing is to fall, we would have to lose that 21 EMA, which is trading at 138.47 right now. And on the downside, we would be looking at the 200-day moving average. I think it would wick past this trend line and touch the 200-day moving average at about 131.69. So what can I do here to, let's say I sold a put today. I didn't, but let's say I sold a put today on this thing, and I think it's going to go up. I'm not too concerned about it losing the 21 EMA, even if it comes all the way down to 131.69 in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that put to play out. Let's go to their options chain real quick. Okay, options chain. So this is for December 20th, by the way, this chain that we're looking at right now. So this is for December 20th, 2024, about a month out. If I was concerned about it coming down and I wanted to have some protection to myself on this, what is going on there? Okay, to myself on this, I would be looking at potentially selling a 130 put, meaning if price came all the way down to $130 or $129.99 by December 20th and closed there on December 20th, I would be buying 100 shares at that price, but I would collect $375 for doing that, which isn't a bad return for a month. Let's see, what would it be? 375 divided by 13, just 13,000. So we'd be looking at about 2.8% per month, or if we go to a yearly, we're looking at 34% per year. Now, that's not an amazing return. The NASDAQ, the QQQ did almost that last year. That's not a normal year for the QQQ, but, if you can return 34% in a year, you're doing pretty good. So that's not too bad. And that's a relatively safe one. It's nice and it's decently far from the money, about $15 far away from the money. It's even a little more than $1 below support. So that one's not super bad there. I wish this thing showed me like delta and stuff. No, it doesn't show me delta. Oh well. Well, actually, let me see. If I go to a list and I go to not all options, I just want puts. And I come over here. Does this show me delta? It does not. It just shows me implied volatility and stuff. So implied volatility 51, open, yeah, 2,000. Yeah, other than that, it's all the way down to 55. It's not going that low unless it absolutely crashes. So open interest 2,000. So 130 is kind of the put wall. You might even be relatively safe at going into 135, but preferably, I feel like being safe right now, I'd be doing a 130. I'd be looking at 130. Getting that about 34% return in each year, 3% a month off of $13,000. That's not a bad income. If you had, let's say you could do 5 of these things, right? So 5, and we're going to times it by 13,000, which would be just 13 here, 65. So if you had $65,000, you could get, if you had about $65,000, you could make about $2,000 a month. Okay, $1,875 per month off of CAVA running relatively safe options on there. So that's not too bad, at least this month anyways. You'd have to reassess it every month. This month I'm looking at the 130 strike for CAVA. All right, let's take a look at a different one. This one I did sell today. CONL. This is a 2x on Coinbase. Look at that move. Yeah, I got on this, even though this is at the top ATR band, the top Bollinger's all the way up at 82 for CONL. This thing could absolutely keep on going. Now, the daily momentum doesn't look great, but Bitcoin's starting to turn around, and that drags up Coinbase. If I go into, like, I think it's the 2-hour one. Sorry, the one, and that's 1 hour. I want 2 hours. 1 hour looks great, but 2 hour, let's take a look at 2 hour. Yeah, the 2 hour is looking real good. This is the one that's really, really promising here. So you can see that the slow did not get into oversold territory, and it turned green. We got the average force moving on up. The fast one's at the top, but it could go sideways or even come down a little bit and create a bull flag coming down to like 54 or so and then go higher. I sold, what did I sell? Let me take a look real quick. Which one did I do? If I can remember. It's going to be just a second here. I did not think about that specifically in terms of having that data right at my fingertips right now. I sold a 45 put for December 2020 for $567. Huge, pretty solid returns, about 10%, a little more than 10%, sorry, a little more than 10% per month. So we're talking about over 100% per year on CONL here. But this one's a little more dangerous than CAVA. It moves a lot more. It's a 2x on an already high beta stock. So this thing moves when it moves. So like if you're not paying attention to support and resistance, if you're not kind of on top of this one, it can get away from you. This is definitely not a set it and for it, get it type of put on CONL. Like CAVA, you could probably safely set it at support and walk away. CONL, you set it at support, it'll blow right through 4 levels of support. So I would not do this one unless you are comfortable selling puts, unless you are comfortable with risk. I'm pretty comfortable with risk. I'm also pretty comfortable with rolling options. So like I'm not really too concerned about my position here. Kind of, went through the gauntlet on that one with MicroStrategy here in August. So not super worried. Let's see options chain. So let's go to the options chain here. Okay, and we go list all options. No, I just want puts. Okay, so I sold a 45 for December 20th. Okay, let's get it down here. 45 December. Yeah, let's see. Look how far away from the money I am. 45 December 20th. It's already down to $480. I'm actually up money on that already. I think I'm up a decent amount actually already. I'm already up 18% on that. $102 since I sold it this morning after I did my recording. But look at the implied volatility, 158. That is huge. If that implied volatility drops like at all, I'm going to be taking this to the bank real fast. So I'm pretty excited about that. Usually with these ones, even though it's a month out, I'm looking to close them within a couple of days or a week or two on these ones. I'm looking at them more like trades versus allowing them to expire. I generally don't let my options expire. I do, like if I get 60% profitability, I'm going to close it. Why not? Take my 60%, especially if it happens fast. If I get 80%, I'm absolutely going to close it. I'm not going to hold on to that. I'll just go on to the next one. Anyways, yeah. 45, I felt like that was pretty safe because, let's go over here. Look where support was going to be about 47, 48. And I wanted to give it a little bit of room just in case it got away from me. All the way down at 45 gives it just a little bit of breathing room past support. So if this ends up being right here, if this ends up being a bear flag, then it'll come back to support, which is about 47, and I'll have a little bit of breathing room beneath that if it goes further. And if it goes further, obviously I'd be looking to roll, and probably be looking to roll to about a 30 to a 30 strike price somewhere a couple months in the future, just to make up that that ground that I would be losing if it comes back down below 45. Okay, so I'm pretty excited about that. I do think that if this line right here, I think it broke this line already. Did it? It did not. So I'd be watching this line. I'm watching this line very carefully right here. This line right here. If it fails here, I'm going to take my profit and run. If it crushes this level here, I'd be looking for it to go up to 66, possibly even run back to 76. That is dependent on Bitcoin a little bit. All right, the next one. The next one is MicroStrategy 2x leverage ETF, MSTX. I sold a put on this as well today. I closed one and then I opened up another. I actually did two of them, so I kind of screwed up a little bit. Like I did a 70 put on that, and then I decided that that was too low, and I ended up buying that back for like a $10 loss to go to an 80 put on it for $2,000. So let's see here. So and that's out to December 20th. So I sold this one. I'll show you real quick right here. MSTX. Okay. Options. We go to puts. Okay. Not November 15th. We're looking for December 20th. Okay. I went with it. I started with a 70, right? And then I decided that why isn't it showing me all of them? Straddle. Show me all of them. There we go. So I started with a 70, and that was way too low, right? That's way too low. So I bumped it up to an 80. As I saw, I'll show you what I saw, actually. I don't know why this isn't populating. I'll show you what I saw. So what did I see? I saw this bad boy right here. So one, we're above the 21 and the 5 EMA. We touched the 200 EMA on the 2 hour. Okay, we did that. That was great. That's a good entry point there. But look at this. Inverted head and shoulders. And that would take us right back up to 115 if it breaks to the upside. If it doesn't break to the upside, it's probably going to come down to maybe 81, maybe 80. If it goes any lower than 80, I'll be rolling it down to the 70s. But 80 is support. If it breaks support, I will definitely be rolling. If it doesn't, and it goes up, and Bitcoin goes up, and it goes up for the last 2 weeks of November, I'll be collecting $2,000 when it gets up to like 120, 130. So that's what I'm looking at here. I'm looking for this inverted head and shoulders to break to the upside and to get that. So, and why do I think that's going to happen? Look at the 2 hour. Look at the 2 hour right here. So 2 hour momentum. Look at this. Let me make this nice and big. This is why I did this. And this is why I did it this is why I got a lot more aggressive after the fact too. Like I got in and then I went out immediately for a small loss and went back in way more aggressive than I started. And I did that because of this. Look at this. The fast crossed over the slow while it was yellow on green for my momentum ribbons, okay? The average force is climbing upward on this thing right here. Those two things, along with an inverted head and shoulders, as well as on the 2 hour, we came into the 200 on the 2 hour and then pushed our way up and above the 21 and the 5 on the 2 hour chart. Those three things together tell me that there is a good risk to reward here for me personally. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. This is simply what I think is a good setup. Would I buy a call option on this? No, I would not. That's a little too risky for me. The spreads are kind of bad. The price action is kind of bad. It favors the sellers on this one, in my opinion. It favors sellers, so that's why I sell. And $2,000 in a month is a good return. I'm not going to knock that. I will take that every day of the week. So let's go look at the daily. How's the daily looking on this thing? The daily's not looking great, but what do I like about the daily? It came into the 5 and created a doji here. And this top ATR band, that's just a suggestion for where things should stop. It's really the Bollinger Band, a stock that is such a high beta as this one, the top Bollinger Band there on the 3. Look how many times we touch it just in the last couple of weeks, right? We touched it since September. We touched it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Are we going to do it a 5th time? We might just do this a 5th time. Notice how when it bounces off the 21, it's tends to bounce off the 5. It just bounced off the 5. You can see average force is coming down a little bit, but on the momentum here on the daily, it is starting to flatten out. If we get that fast one to turn yellow, you better believe this thing's coming all the way back up to 121. And if it fails, I'm actually not upset about holding some MSTX at $80. I might consider taking that, taking those 100 shares, because I don't think MicroStrategy is done yet. I would not be surprised to see MicroStrategy double, and if that is the double, this one would do, twice that amount, and that would be very, very exciting, especially at $80. So, not too bad. So either way, I'm winning on this one. If I end up holding the shares, I think I win, as long as I'm willing to hold them long enough to get it to where it needs to go. If it closes above $80, I get my $2,000. I'm winning. It's just a win-win all around, in my opinion, of course. So that's what I did today. I went ahead and I sold a put on CONL as well as MSTX, and I started scouting one out for CAVA. Let me know what you think in the comments of selling options, of selling puts. Are you interested in this? Would you like more content about, the thought process, as well as the ones I'm looking at and doing here? More videos just like options I'm selling this week. I can do more of that. Anyways, that's all I've got for you this afternoon. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. Do not sleep on the sticker shop. That link is also in the description and channel bio, and have a profitable day.